Whew. What is going on, folks? My name is Spice. This is Spice Can't Fish, and today we've got ourselves yet another unboxing. Now, most of the time I save these unboxings for when the fishing's super slow or I can't go fishing at all. Generally around the winter time is when you guys are going to see the majority of the unboxings on this channel. But as you guys can probably tell, I've got a little something going on. I've actually had poison ivy for the last like 2 weeks. It's been super bad. You can kind of see on this hand a little bit, it's still a little bit bumpy, but we're finally trending upwards. I'm finally getting to the point where I can actually semi-use this hand again. But again, I've had poison ivy for like the last 10 days or so I haven't really been able to get out and do any fishing. So of course that means that I gotta find something to do with my time, so I decided to go out and spend a little bit of money here and there, and we ended up with a nice little sack of some goodies to unbox for you guys. Most of the stuff is gonna be from Dick's Sporting Goods, but there's a few other things mixed in that I just bought from just some other random places. And I've even got a couple new swim baits in here as well, so we're gonna be unboxing all that stuff in just this one unboxing here. Now, like I said, I have been doing a little bit of shopping here in the last 10 days, but a lot of this stuff is actually from prior to that. I just picked up a few things from a few different places here, there, and everywhere. It was never enough to like make a full unboxing video, so I figured I may as well just like hold it off until I had enough stuff to make a nice full unboxing video for you guys. And yeah, I don't really even remember what all's in this bag, so it's going to be kind of a mystery for the both of us, but yeah, we're going to get cracking into the unboxing. Alright, the first couple of things that I want to talk about here are two absolutely ridiculously sized jig heads. These are the half pounder and the pounder, I believe is what they call this. I don't remember exactly who makes these. I think it's Hog Farmer Bait Company, but I could be wrong. But I'll leave them linked down below if you guys want to go check these things out. They are absolutely freaking massive. Just for like a little reference, this is like your average sized underspin that you would normally see. And then this is the half pounder, I believe is what they call that. So just a little bit bigger on that guy. And then you really start to see the difference when you compare a normal underspin to that pounder. This thing is absolutely gigantic. I don't know what you even use this for. I imagine like shark or giant tuna or something like that. Murray cod, I don't really know. But yeah, I picked these up because I thought they were hilarious. They weren't super expensive either, so I figured I may as well grab them. We might do a challenge video on these at some point in the future, but I would have to find a rod that's big enough and heavy enough to actually be able to throw this stuff. But hopefully sometime in the future you guys will be seeing a video with these absolute giant underspins because these things are insane. But we may as well keep kind of going with the underspin train. We got ourselves one of these 6th Sense axle underspins. These are the weedless underspins that 6th Sense recently came out with. This is in the baby shad color. It's the 3/8 ounce size with a 4/0 hook. I am really excited to throw these things around. I've heard a lot of really good things about these axles. The way they're designed, the hook is actually able to swivel up and down, which gives it a little bit more action, makes the bait move a little bit more lifelike. It's got a nice big screw lock on there as well, so you should be able to keep a bait on there for a good long time. But just picked up one of these because I think that's about all they had in stock. And yeah, really excited to throw these things around. I love throwing underspins. That's part of the reason why I got those absolute giant ones, but this one's going to be something that we can use a little bit more every day. And yeah, I'm really excited to throw this thing around. I love throwing underspins, small swim baits on underspins and stuff like that. It's part of the reason why I picked up those things is because I figured it'd be kind of a fun challenge for me. But this axle is something we can use a little bit more day to day, so really excited to throw this thing around in the spring, see what we can do with it. We've actually got quite a few 6th Sense products in here, so we're just going to start going through them. But grab myself another Vega Frog. This is in the Frogville color, so it's just a little bit of a darker profile frog. The belly of the frog is a little bit more of like an off yellowish kind of natural color. Looks super lifelike. I just kind of wanted to grab another Vega Frog just because they're pretty solid frogs. I've got a couple of them, but I don't have one in this color, and I figured I may as well just grab another frog because I'm kind of running a little bit low. And if you guys saw my rod and reel arsenal video, I just picked up a new frogging and flippin stick, so I'm really excited to throw some frogs around this year on that thing, and this Vega Frog should be absolutely perfect for that. So we got ourselves a little Vega Frog in the 70 size. We've also got ourselves a couple of their newer soft plastic baits. We've got a pack of the Juggle minnows. This is in the minnow juice color, so just a super natural shad bait fish kind of color. Got a purple back and then more of like a smoked shad grayish kind of color on the bottom. It looks like a super killer little bait. They're usually used for like hover strolling or hover juggling or whatever you want to call it, but I'm probably going to use them as a drop shot bait or like a chatterbait trailer or a spinnerbait trailer or something like that. But yeah, super versatile, super interesting little baits. I really like the profile of them. As soon as I saw them come out on the market, I wanted to pick up a couple of packs. But for whatever reason, the Dick's Sporting Goods around here has a terrible selection in terms of fishing stuff. They have a ton of Guggen baits for whatever reason, but when you actually want to go and buy like a normal bait, you can't really find anything. But if you're looking for something that's not from Guggen Baits or like Zoom or Yum or something like that, you kind of have a hard time finding some stuff in my local Dick's Sporting Goods at least, so kind of limited on the color selection. So we got a pack of those. We also picked up a pack of the 3.5 inch panoramas. These are their weird drop shot fluke style bait. I don't really know what you're supposed to do with these things. I've seen people use them a ton of different ways. Looks like a pretty solid drop shot bait. Should be a good bait for like forward facing sonar if that's something that you guys do. I don't have the ability to do that. I'm not spending $3,000 on some panel optics or some live scope or anything like that. At least not yet, but for the moment we're at least probably just going to be using these as like a drop shot bait, or again just flipping them up super shallow around some cover. But yeah, this is the Pro Blue color, just essentially a white with a little bit of a blue iridescence to the back. Looks super good, really lifelike, really excited to throw these things around. But yeah, heard a lot of mixed reviews about this thing, so we're just going to have to get them out on the water, see what we can do with them this coming spring and summer. Regardless, they look super good, they're super lifelike. And yeah, I think we can get bet on them. They look pretty good. I'm just going to probably have to do some more research as to how exactly to rig and throw these things. Alrighty, next up from 6th Sense, we got ourselves one of the new Hangover swim baits. I actually pulled this one out of the package just because I was so interested in taking a look at it, but this is the new Hangover swim bait from 6th Sense. This is the medium sink, so it's just between the slow and fast sink. I think that's pretty much all they had there was a couple of different colors of the medium sink. But I figured I'd pick one up. I don't really throw a whole lot of soft plastic swim baits, but this is again one that I've been very interested in trying. And again, another bait that I hear a lot of mixed reviews on, so we're gonna have to give it a shot. I hear a lot of people say it doesn't swim super well, but it seems like a ton of other people are catching really good fish on it. So yeah, figured I'd pick one up. I don't know exactly what color this is, but it's just like a supernatural shad kind of color. But it should definitely get bit. Again, I just have to kind of figure out the way to throw this thing. I hear there's like a right and a wrong way to actually retrieve it. There's like a specific speed you want to be retrieving it at. At that speed, anything faster than that, the bait kicks really, really well, but anything slower than that, it's supposed to be really crappy in terms of action. So I think once we figure out the kinks with this bait, it should be a super fun bait to fish around, and I'm really excited to see what we can do with it. Speaking of controversial soft plastic swim baits, we also got one from Berkley. This is the Nessie. It's the 7-inch size. I'm sure you guys have heard a ton of stuff about the Nessie. This is Berkley's soft glide bait. They came out with this a couple of years ago. People have been catching a ton of fish on it, and a lot of big fish from what I see. But the main thing that people are really upset about this is it's pretty much a knockoff of another bait. The bait that the people are saying that this bait copies is a bait called the Flag 170, which is from a small Japanese company. I'll put up a picture of it for you guys right here. And yeah, on first glance, it looks very similar. I'm excited to see what we can do with this thing, though. Like I said, I've seen a lot of people catch a lot of big fish on it, so I'm pretty excited to see what we can do. Regardless of if it's a knockoff or not, I'm sure it'll catch some big fish, so we're going to have to do a challenge video or review style video on this thing, see what we can actually do with it. But yeah, they just call this the raw color. It's just bright white, just kind of like a bone color. Should be perfect for some dirtier water. Should also work okay in some clearer water as well, but I just figured I'd pick up just like a bright white because it's kind of the best color they had. Again, that Dick's Sporting Goods has some super limited color selection when it comes to like anything other than Guggen baits. And actually, speaking of, I did end up breaking down and buying a couple of Guggen Squad jigs. These are just about the only jigs that they had in that whole Dick's Sporting Goods. I spent probably 45 minutes walking around one day trying to find a jig. And these two, as well as the only other jig that's in the bag, which I'll show you guys in a minute, were the only options. So I picked up a couple of the Juicy casting jigs. These are the 3/8 ounce size. It's the black and blue with the 5/0 hook. They look like some pretty solid jigs. I don't really see an issue with these specific jigs. I think a jig is kind of one of those baits that you can really only make so bad. Like, there's never going to be a jig that you simply can't catch fish on. There's going to be some that have better components, better hooks, better line ties, this, that, and the other thing, but generally a jig is a jig is a jig, so I don't feel too bad about throwing these things around. And yeah, I am in desperate need of some more black and blue jigs, so I figured I may as well pick some up just to hold myself over until I can make myself another tackle warehouse order or something. But yeah, like I said, we also have one other jig in here. This is the only other jig that I could find in there, and this is the Eco Pro Tungsten Heavyweight Flippin Jig. So this is a tungsten flippin jig. It's just a flat black jig. It's a 3/8 ounce size. I really don't know anything all too much about these Eco Pros except for the fact that they're friggin' expensive. This jig cost me $8.50. It's got a little sticker on it that apparently was $8.50 for one flippin' jig, so hopefully we're not going to lose this one. But yeah, again, it's just a jig. I don't really know all too much about what makes a good jig versus a bad one. This one doesn't seem like it has a hand-tied skirt on it, which is a little bit of an issue for me, at least. I personally like a hand-tied skirt on my jigs just because they seem like they last a little bit longer. But this one's just got kind of like a black rubber band, it seems like. But yeah, regardless, we're going to be throwing around some jigs here pretty soon, I think. These fish should be moving up pretty shallow if they haven't already moved up shallow, so hopefully we'll be able to get up and do some shallow water flipping with some jigs here soon. Oh, one other thing that I got from that place that I got those giant underspins was actually this little A-rig. It's a Recon Bates A-rig. I don't really know what they call it. They have no information on the thing, but it's just like a smaller A-rig deal. At this point in the year, it's probably a little bit past the A-rig time, but we'll keep it in mind for later this year when the water starts to cool down in the fall. And yeah, I think besides this, I've only got one other A-rig, so I figured I may as well pick up a second for when I inevitably lose that first one. Okay, back to the stuff from Dick's. Got myself a couple of pad crashers by Booya. These are both the exact same frog. They're just the bullfrog color. Just a standard size of the pad crasher, nothing really to say about them. Again, I just am kind of in dire need of some more frogs, so I picked up a couple of the pad crashers just because they're pretty solid frogs. And again, they have really no options in there. It was this, the Vega Frog, and then I think the Recon Bates frog were the only 3 frog options in there. So I got 2 of them. I got the pad crasher and then obviously one of the Vega Frogs as well, but got ourselves a couple more frogs to add to the arsenal this year. Alrighty, couple more packs of soft plastics in here. We'll just roll through these real quick. Got ourselves a pack of the Robo Worms. This is the 4.5 inch size. This color is called Bull Bluegill, so it's a really interesting color. It's what I really like about Robo Worm is they have some really intricate looking color schemes. They do like an open pore technology, so it actually allows them to put like a bunch of different layers of color on one small bait. And this one's got a brown back, a bright green belly, and then just kind of like a black line that goes straight through the middle. Super good looking bait, should be fantastic for coming up this year in the spring and summertime. When those fish really start feeding up on bluegill, this is going to be an absolute killer around some beds and stuff. I also got a pack of the super salty flukes in the bubblegum color. This I just got for another challenge video. I'm going to probably do a pink fishing lure challenge video at some point or another, but this is for that obviously. But I hear bubblegum's a really good color, so we might just have to throw these around and see if we can just get bit on them on a random day. But yeah, nothing really else to say about that, just some bright pink flukes. Alrighty, the last bait in here is actually a pretty expensive one. This is a Vision 110 Junior. I picked up my first Vision 110 this year. I was really hesitant to pick them up just because I don't really throw a jerkbait all too much. And I haven't caught anything on the full-size one, but I figured I may as well pick up one of the smaller ones. I hear a lot of guys actually do a little bit better on the 110 Junior as opposed to the 110. So I picked up this one in the Northern Secret color, which is a really interesting looking color. It's honestly mostly purple, pretty see-through, and the belly's almost like a light chartreuse minty color. Got a bunch of gold flake on it too, looks super, super good. We'll definitely be throwing this thing around here at some point pretty soon. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of confidence in jerkbaits, so I figured I may as well pick up another one of the most expensive ones on the market, because I guess I like wasting money. Alright, and this last bait is actually one that I didn't pick up. My buddy Jack was super nice and actually gave me a Swimbait for Christmas. I am so freaking excited about this one, although I do have a little bit of bad news to talk about when talking about the Swimbait. But first up, here's the bait. It's a Rafa Baits, a Swimbait. It's a custom 3-piece gill. I don't know exactly what they call this one, but it's just one of the Rafa Baits gills. And as you guys might be able to see, there's actually a cutout for a lip to go in there, but there is no lip in the bait at the moment. So I actually brought this thing out to go do some testing just to see what the action was on it. I was blown away. It looked absolutely fantastic for a few casts. Then all of a sudden I just made one random cast and the action kind of stopped. I didn't know what was wrong with it until I pulled it back in and realized that I was missing the lip. So we're unfortunately down a lip on the custom Rafa gill. But yeah, I think I'm just going to try and find myself like a little piece of polycarbonate or something, cut myself out a little bill and just kind of slap it back in there. I'll just make sure to glue it in real tight, and then after that we should be good to go to try and catch some fish on this brand new wake bait. But yeah, other than the fact that we're missing the lip, the bait is absolutely incredible. I've been hearing a lot of fantastic things about these Rafa gills and the Rafa baits in general, and this thing is going to get hammered. I can tell you, it's going to catch an absolute giant. Again, the action when it had the lip looked absolutely fantastic, so I think once we put another lip in this thing, it's all but a matter of time to get bit on it. But yeah, that is going to hopefully be the last unboxing style video that we have for the year. Again, I just kind of unfortunately can't really do some fishing right now, which really sucks because it's kind of perfect fishing time. I've been seeing people catch giant fish all around me, and just being stuck inside not being able to fish really sucks. But again, I think I've only got a couple more days where I have to keep my hand all bandaged up, and then after that we should be good to go and try and get out and do some fishing. So you guys will be seeing a whole lot more fishing content from me. Probably see a lot of these baits in some videos coming up here soon as well. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, folks. Really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see some more content from me. Check and wreck 'em, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.